In a move that has stunned the world, the very foundations of international commerce have been shaken. Headlines everywhere are dominated by a single, almost unbelievable story, one that is sending shockwaves through boardrooms, governments, and households alike. Elon Musk, the visionary entrepreneur known for disrupting industries, has redrawn the map of global shipping in a way no one could have predicted. The world's most vital shipping lanes, once fiercely contested and managed by nations, are now under the control of a single private entity. On September 24, 2025, the Boring Company finalized a staggering $70 billion deal, acquiring every major land-based rival to the Panama Canal. This historic transaction marks the largest infrastructure buyout in modern history, and it has left industry experts reeling. Musk now controls the Suez Canal, the ambitious Nicaragua Canal project, and the Tehuantepec Isthmus corridor, effectively monopolizing the main alternatives that connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. These routes, once symbols of national pride and sovereignty, are now managed by a single corporate titan. This private monopoly over critical supply chain arteries is unprecedented in the modern era, shifting the balance of power from sovereign nations to a single, powerful corporate entity. The implications are profound, as decisions once made by governments are now in the hands of one executive team. The effects ripple outward, from bustling Chinese factories to European consumers awaiting goods. Every product that crosses an ocean may now pass through infrastructure controlled by Musk, consolidating the world's trade routes under his influence and reshaping the global economy. The deal, financed by Musk's immense personal wealth, shares in Tesla and SpaceX, and a network of global bank loans, signals a new era, one where private enterprise can own and operate infrastructure that was once the exclusive domain of governments and international treaties. Shipping conglomerates, which once thrived by negotiating between competing routes and authorities, now face a single, all-powerful gatekeeper. The rules of the game have changed overnight, and many are scrambling to adapt. The world's intricate web of trade has been transformed in a matter of hours, leaving experts and leaders to speculate on the long-term consequences. Will this consolidation bring efficiency, or will it create new vulnerabilities and risks? One thing is certain: the balance of power in global commerce has shifted, perhaps forever. The world now watches, uncertain of what the future holds under this unprecedented consolidation. The Panama Canal, which officially opened its gates in 1914, has long stood as the backbone of global maritime trade, revolutionizing the way goods move between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Its construction was a monumental feat of engineering, overcoming immense natural obstacles and reshaping international commerce forever. Today, the canal handles over 3% of worldwide shipping, serving as a vital artery for the movement of everything from raw materials to finished products and connecting economies across continents. The canal's major expansion in 2016 allowed even larger ships, known as New Panamax vessels, to pass through, further reinforcing its dominance and ensuring its relevance in an era of ever-growing global trade. Yet competition has always loomed on the horizon, challenging Panama's supremacy and pushing it to adapt. The Suez Canal in Egypt, for example, connects Europe and Asia, offering a crucial alternative route for ships seeking to avoid the Americas. Meanwhile, the long-dreamed Nicaragua Canal has promised a wider, deeper passage, capturing the imagination of engineers and investors for generations, though it remains unrealized. Mexico's Tehuantepec Isthmus corridor, a land-based rail and port network, also emerged as a fast, flexible alternative, allowing cargo to be transferred efficiently between oceans, without the need for a canal. Together, these rivals created a dynamic and competitive ecosystem, keeping prices in check, spurring constant innovation, and ensuring that no single route could dominate global shipping unchallenged. Shipping lines could carefully weigh costs, risks, and transit times, choosing the best route for their needs and negotiating better terms. The mere threat of new routes or alternative corridors kept Panama's tolls competitive and its management responsive to the demands of global trade. This delicate balance ensured that no single entity could dictate terms to the world's shipping industry, until now, when everything has changed. Musk's unprecedented acquisition has swept away this century-old competition, uniting all major challengers under one powerful corporate banner and redrawing the map of interoceanic transit. The era of checks and balances in global shipping is over, replaced by a new order where decisions are made in boardrooms, not on the open seas. The world must now adapt to this new, consolidated reality, where the flow of goods and the fate of economies are shaped by a single unified authority. The age of competition has given way to the age of control, and the future of global trade hangs in the balance. Pulling off this $70 billion mega deal required secrecy, speed, and strategy. Every move was calculated, every conversation shrouded in confidentiality. The stakes were enormous, and the margin for error was razor thin. Only a handful of insiders knew the full scope of what was unfolding behind closed doors. The Boring Company formed a shadowy new entity, Global Passage Holdings, to act as the deal's spearhead. Quietly, they began negotiating with governments and private stakeholders across 3 continents, leveraging relationships in financial hubs like Geneva, Dubai, and Singapore. Each meeting was meticulously planned to avoid leaks and speculation. The largest and most critical piece was a $45 billion agreement for a controlling stake in the Suez Canal Authority. This deal came with bold promises of future investment, sweeping modernization, and a vision to transform the canal into a 21st century trade artery. Next, a $15 billion buyout of the Nicaragua Canal project granted Global Passage Holdings exclusive development rights. This move not only secured a strategic waterway but also signaled a commitment to reshaping global logistics in the Western Hemisphere. Finally, $10 billion was invested to secure the Tehuantepec Isthmus corridor in Mexico, effectively locking down the most viable land-based alternative for interoceanic trade. This completed the trifecta, giving the company control over the world's most important trade shortcuts. Financing this megadeal required a complex blend of Elon Musk's personal fortune, newly issued SpaceX shares, and massive loans from a consortium of global banks. The financial engineering was as intricate as the negotiations themselves, with every dollar accounted for. By targeting all rivals simultaneously, Musk and his team prevented price hikes, speculation, and leaks. This bold, all-at-once approach allowed them to assemble a near monopoly in total secrecy, outmaneuvering competitors before anyone realized what was happening. Legal teams worked around the clock, navigating a labyrinth of international laws, regulations, and compliance hurdles. Their mission? Keep the deal airtight and under wraps until the dramatic reveal, ensuring no detail was overlooked. The result, a vertically integrated monopoly on alternative global trade routes, was unveiled to a stunned world. The announcement sent shockwaves through the shipping, logistics, and financial industries, instantly rewriting the rules of global commerce. The playbook for global infrastructure has been rewritten, setting a new precedent for ambition, secrecy, and scale in the world of megadeals. The global shipping map has been redrawn. Previously, a ship from Shanghai to New York could choose between the Panama Canal, Suez Canal, or land-based routes, each competing for business. Now Musk's Global Passage Holdings controls all major alternatives to Panama, internalizing competition and maximizing profit. The company can set tolls strategically, shifting traffic and revenue as it pleases. Discounts on the Tehuantepec rail corridor or threats to build the Nicaragua Canal give Musk leverage over the entire industry. The once competitive choke points are now managed from a single boardroom. Shippers face bundled service packages and dynamic pricing with little recourse. The physical geography of trade has been replaced by corporate control. The arteries of global commerce now flow through a single, privately owned network. The world's supply chain is more centralized and more vulnerable than ever. The rules of global trade have changed overnight. Financing this empire required unprecedented creativity. Musk contributed $20 billion in cash, raised by selling Tesla stock. $25 billion came from new, non-voting SpaceX shares, traded to governments for their infrastructure stakes. The final $25 billion was secured as long-term debt, backed by future canal toll revenues. This blend of personal wealth, tech equity, and infrastructure-backed loans created a capital pool large enough to buy out state-linked assets. The deal blurs the lines between private wealth, corporate power, and national interests. Business schools will study this financial feat for decades. The age of mega acquisitions has a new blueprint. The shipping industry is reeling. Major lines like Maersk and COSCO, once able to negotiate between routes, now face a single powerful gatekeeper. Stock prices for shipping and logistics firms plunged, reflecting fears of rising costs and lost leverage. Freight forwarders and cargo owners brace for higher fees, with costs likely passed to consumers worldwide. Emergency meetings are underway as shipping alliances scramble to form a united front. Ports and logistics hubs like Singapore must now align with Musk's network or risk losing relevance. The threat of long-haul detours around Africa or South America is real, but costly and slow. The global supply chain has entered a new era of uncertainty and centralization. Regulators and governments are scrambling. Antitrust authorities in the EU, US, and China have launched investigations, but the deal's international nature complicates legal challenges. The US and China express deep concerns about economic stability and security, while Egypt, Mexico, and Nicaragua tout the benefits of investment and modernization. The Panama Canal Authority calls for an international summit, fearing marginalization. Developing nations worry about being squeezed by a private monopoly. The deal has reignited debate over who should control global infrastructure, nations, treaties, or corporations. The post-war consensus on shared management is under threat. The world must now confront the risks of privatized, centralized control. The boring company's leap from urban tunnels to global trade is bold, but not illogical. Musk sees legacy infrastructure as ripe for disruption, promising automation, efficiency, and integration. His vision: autonomous electric ships, digitized ports, and real-time logistics powered by Starlink. The Nicaragua Canal project will be reimagined as a high-tech, automated corridor, using advanced tunneling for a wider, deeper, greener passage. The Tehuantepec corridor will become a high-speed electric land bridge, possibly even a hyperloop for cargo. By controlling all alternatives, Musk can invest in radical innovation without fear of competition. The goal: transit times, cut emissions, and unlock trillions in value. This is not just a business move, it's a bet on the future of global logistics. The world's oldest industry is about to be reinvented. Musk's $70 billion acquisition marks a seismic shift in global trade. By consolidating the Suez, Nicaragua, and Tehuantepec routes, he's created a private monopoly over the world's most vital shipping shortcuts. The deal, blending personal wealth, tech equity, and debt, has dismantled a century of competition. The world must now weigh the promise of innovation against the risks of concentrated power. The boundaries between private enterprise and the nation-state have blurred. The future of global commerce is uncertain, centralized, and profoundly changed. Is radical efficiency worth the price of placing the world's trade arteries in the hands of one man?